Duo, Lady K and Lady J, for a program which is geared to enrich you, mind, body, and soul, right here on 246 BajunVibesRadio.com, 12 till 3 on a Sundays AM, 7 till 10 p.m., 8 till 11 Eastern Standard Time. Don't you miss it. Feeling lazy, feeling tired,
Welcome to Enrichment of Mind, Body, and Soul. How are you guys doing? Welcome, Michelle. Welcome, Travis. And welcome, Lady J. How are you guys doing?
Doing beautiful.
Amazing.
Great. It's good to see you guys. Welcome home.
Yes. Yes.
It's so good to see you guys. And, this evening we got such an interesting topic, start healthy, and it's starting healthy in all areas of your life. You could be starting healthy boundaries. You could be starting healthy relationships. You can be starting to eat healthy, meaning choosing nutritional diets that is going to benefit your body, mind, and soul. And in this episode, we invite you to consider holistic well-being and how to create a balanced, thriving life. The idea is to focus on foundational principles to build health in multiple areas. So it's to focus on your emotional, your physical, your relational, and your spiritual. So all those aspects we're going to be covering this evening. And this is a question I really want to ask this evening. When was the last time you felt truly aligned with yourself? I'm going to repeat that question. When was the last time you truly felt aligned with yourself? And have you ever experienced a period of imbalance in your life? And how did you get back on track? Sit with that this evening and get ready to reflect, embrace new perspectives, and to take intentional.
I guess she's frozen.
Hello?
No,
Lady,
I
can you hear?
I think she's frozen. But that's a good question. Are you living the life of alignment? Because in order to live a fulfilled life, are you there?
Yes, we're here.
Continue. Continue.
And when you join Enrichment of Mind, Body, and Soul, we discuss wellness through purposeful conversations, because every week we have purposeful conversation and practical tools for transformation. So if you're looking for the transformation in your life, this is the right place to be at this point in time. But don't forget, subscribe, engage, and start your journey towards a more empowering and balanced lifestyle. So this is the right place for you to be this evening. And if you know someone could benefit from this podcast, we highly recommend that you share us out. And don't forget to subscribe so you will never miss none of these episodes. Every week, these episodes are getting better and better. And this week we got 2 returning guests. We consider them as family and they're home. And Michelle and Travis, they both wrote 2 amazing articles for Start Healthy magazine, which is going to be out in a couple of weeks. Start Healthy hard copy magazine is going to be out in a couple of weeks. And if you have not subscribed, you need to go into the notes and pull up that link and subscribe so you can receive this hard copy magazine. It's absolutely free of cost. You don't have to pay for it. So why wait? Why wait? Go subscribe so you can get this beautiful magazine at your nightstand. So when you throw back in bed in the night, you could be reading some good articles. And Mitchell and Travis wrote 2 beautiful articles for this magazine. But the thing is that you have to take that intentional step. It's your choice. You got to take that step. And we also have 2 beautiful books on Amazon, Your Gut in You and Self-Care is Intentional. And if you have not picked up a copy as yet, it's time, because there's some great information in both of those books for you. And it's going to help you to live a real fulfilled life, because you're going to understand the body, the mind, the spirit, the soul. You're also going to understand about self-care, how you could take care of yourself. So many things. So you got to buy the book to get the information. So again, I just want to welcome Michelle and Travis to the studio this evening. Thank you guys for saying yes and to be a returning guest here. And I am Lady K, holistic health and wellness coach and the co-author of 2 books that I just tell you about. Your Gut in You and Self-Care is Intentional. Grab yourself copies. And we are so grateful that you are here joining us this evening, because any questions that you have pertaining to this subject, you can always drop it in the comments and we will address it. So I'll toss the mic now to Lady J. Lady J, take the mic.
Wow. What a big opening.
Yes, it's got to be grand.
It's important. It's important that we live life with energy, because when you're coming into a space, you want to have that level of vibration.
Absolutely.
You want to step into the space with everything that you have, because you're sharing, you're giving, you're exchanging a level of energy in the moment. So you come prepared, you come ready to share and to give and to exchange and to love in ways of abundance. Tonight I want to ask you a question to the audience. What are you choosing that is not choosing you?
True.
What are you choosing that is not choosing you? Because where you put your energy or where you put your focus, and you're focusing on something that is not choosing you, regardless whatever that thing may be, it's draining. And as I just said, to live life, you want to live life with energy. We want to show up fully with our everything, our all. You want to step into our power. So to be fulfilled, choose what's choosing you. And choose you yourself. Because when we talk about self-care, it's super important. I hope this weekend, you took the time to just focus on you, that quality time. Fill your cup so that you can be full for the next step, the next day, starting a new week. Fortify yourself. Fill yourself up. Because we can't serve from an empty cup.
Sure.
When we stepping into the space, we want our cup to be filled. So that's why self-care is so essential, because it's not only luxurious dinners or whatever, but the most important thing that we taking care of mental, physical, and emotional, our entire well-being. Are you setting those boundaries that are so important for your well-being? You showing yourself grace, love, and compassion. Are you celebrating those wins, whether they're big or small? You work hard to get there. You work through tears, failures, rejection, no's. But through it all, you've got there. And so celebrate those wins. Take the first step. Make those moves. We're almost concluding April. Where are you with those goals that you've set at the commencement of 2025? We know that it takes time, and it's okay. Focus on what you can attain in a moment, small increments at a time. Remind yourself who you are. Tap into your inner wisdom, your inner being, your guidance. Show yourself a level of gratitude. Gratitude for yourself and gratitude for the amazing people that you're surrounded by. Those people who believe in you. When there might be moments that you might not have believed in yourself, but they supported you. They say they saw something in you that you did not even see in yourself. And they know that you have got what it takes to continue, to propel forward, to move on the trajectory that you're going after so that you can attain those goals, get those dreams that you're going after, and that you can tap into that beauty inside of you. Remind yourself every day that you are special, you are amazing, and that you are worthy. Yes, you are. Yes, we're talking to you. Congratulations to all of you who are taking those bold moves, those bold steps, so that you can live the life that you desire and that you're walking in your purpose. Are you taking those time to acknowledge your morning routine, your nightly routine? Are you pausing daily, whatever form of practice, whether you're out in nature or your meditation, or whatever form of modality that you may use, or that you are using? Just stop in daily so you can get quiet, center, and balance. It's super important so you can stay grounded. It's super important. And it's a great topic we're talking tonight with our amazing guests that we have returning with us. Start healthy. How are you starting it? What sit with it tonight and think about what moment in your life, a moment in your life that made you pivot and say, you know what, I'm going to take the step to start healthy. Think about that moment, or there might be many moments too. What made you stop and pause and say, I've got to change? Or sometime life changing on us and force us to make different choices so that we can make the healthy choice to live and attain all the greatness that we need to have in our lives. I'm Lady J, certified holistic health and wellness coach. And just find a comfortable space in your home tonight. Bring along a friend. Bring along a friend. Invite them to watch. Whether you're watching it live on replay, we thank you. We value your time. And we thank you that you're taking the time just to sit with us. Enjoy this hour, this 2 hours with us, so that you can be fulfilled. We know there's lots of takeaways from Michelle and Travis tonight, so that you can expand your toolbox or your toolkit, so that you can evolve and evolve with grace, evolve with love, evolve with compassion, and live the life you so deserve. Michelle and Travis, welcome to the space. We're so honored to have you in this moment. Thank you
I'm
so much
honored
for being here.
to be here. So honored to be here.
Thanks for
you
saying
so
yes. So we're going to hit it off with Michelle. You started, I mean, I know most of our viewers have been familiar with you, but then we're having new viewers every day. So talk to us a little bit about who you are, introduce yourself, and then we move the mic to Travis.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you everybody that's joining, anybody that's gonna replay. So I'm Michelle Ramos. I currently live in Northeast Ohio. I am the founder of Don't Raise Statistics. We are currently in the transition of rebranding, but it's not a marketing move, it's a survival move. We want to align with the disenfranchised communities and the unheard voices, and we want to shift our position in being able to provide the resources that are needing without the nonprofit hinderings that can come, if that makes sense. I'm trying to be nice. So that's what I do. I'm often labeled as resilient. It's not a badge I wear proudly, but it is one I've learned to accept that it was destined to be. It was a calling. It wasn't something I sought. I'm the systems architect of the DRS 75. It's a 150-year global blueprint that'll help transition from fossil fuel to clean energy, incorporate socio-economic systems that are for individual-centric focus, as well as a legacy blueprint, which is currently in patent utility stages. So that's who I am.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Travis, thanks you for all the amazing things you're doing, Michelle. Thank you. True inspiration. Travis?
Bravo. I have to say the same thing. Bravo, Michelle. My name is Travis Weatherhead. I live in Antioch, Illinois. I am the founder of Soul Force Wellness. I do have my website, and I also created a book called The Rift Wardens, Guardians of Balance, that's available on Amazon as well. It's supposed to be an amalgamation of bios of a potential story that could very much change the world if people look into it deep enough. Like the main character alone will actually start a couple of powerful movements if people see into it. Basically, I specialize. I'm a holistic wellness coach consultant mainly. I specialize in dating, relationships, sex, intimacy, romance, in insecurities. I've also helped people in various other areas, such as helping them find what their best careers could potentially be, and even public speaking as well. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And you asked the question, are we living our alignments? And I actually wanted to bring something up. I actually did a very powerful meditation ritual practice during the conjunction on the 19th, if any of you are familiar with what happened. I'm asking, are any of you familiar with what happened on the conjunction on the 19th to the 20th?
That was a, like retrograde or something like that, right? The astrology stuff.
Jupiter and Uranus, actually.
Yeah,
for those
right.
who are Taurists, it only happens once every 14 years. And this one is actually in alignment for anyone who is Taurus, by the way, or someone like me who is a Taurus rising. But basically, what I do is I do my best to try to help people wherever they need it, mainly in dating, relationships, and that area. And I also do practice in metaphysical, and I had actually also evolved, not only evolved Metatron's cube, which is considered sacred geometry, but I've also submitted it to the Monroe Institute, hoping that they catch one of that. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Wow, well, congratulations to both of you. Travis, you're doing amazing things too as well, because I think that is what it makes things so beautiful. When like-minded people can come together and create great impact in the world, changing lives, and in your area that you're focusing on relationship, romance, intimacy, and all that good stuff, because everyone needs to, as when we talk about relationship, where you were on the show a couple months ago, where you talk about relationship and you dive deep into that and really explain what are some of the essential things that men look for in their relationship from a woman. So thank you for everything you're doing.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely welcome, especially when you threw so many subjective questions at me, and I took every one of them like a champ. You know I did. And like there was one where I didn't have an answer for, and I actually had I came up with an answer, but it's too long past. But yeah, I remember that night very vividly.
That's what makes this podcast so exciting
Oh yeah,
and
that's what I love.
enriching.
See, it kind of brought something up when I think it was a lady J that said coming in prepared. Not really. No, for me, I never do. I come in with the knowledge that I have, but I make sure that I come in with all of the knowledge on
Everything.
everything I have, because I never know what's going to happen in the conversation. Any question, the narrative could change, it could course around. So depending on what subjects they are, I'm a contender, bring it. But if it's something like off the wall, like, can you tell me the mechanics of how they built the Titanic? I'm gonna leave the door and say nope. But you come in as prepared as you can be, but it's also good to be prepared for potentially anything that can take a turn.
Sure.
Because
right.
it kind of comes with like with what I do in relationships, not trying to take anything over. But when people connect and interact, they say that thing about the first 7 seconds, you can tell everything about them. No, you need more time to know what someone knows and what they've experienced, which is why I said, you can prepare all you want, but bring in your backup just in case.
Right.
You always have to have something from that toolkit.
Oh yeah. You never know when a random piece of knowledge comes in handy.
So true.
Go ahead, Lady K.
The beautiful thing is when we can show up and we can bring this authentic energy into a space, it feels just right. It feels just right. When these energies are connected, it feels just right. And it really helps someone who is looking at this podcast this evening to understand that wherever you are at this point in time in your life, you can show up for yourself. Wherever you're at, you can show up for yourself. It's about stepping back and taking an introspection in your life and see exactly where you're heading. And as we did a topic, I think it was last week, about choice. You have a choice. You have a choice that things that are not functioning good in your life, you have a choice to start healthy. You have that choice. Right. And you can make that choice this present moment. You can make that choice. If it's eating habits, you can make that choice to start eating healthy. If it's relationships, you can make that choice right this minute to set boundaries in your relationships. You can start this minute. It's all about you taking that intentional step and saying to yourself, I am going to start healthy this minute. Whatever area is it in your life, you pronounce it. I am going to start healthy in that area of my life. Because many times we are allowing ourselves not to go within ourselves. We are allowing people on the outside to run the show, and it's time that we step back and focus on you. Focus on you, who you are. Focus on how can I start a healthy life? How can I start a healthy lifestyle? What are some of the things that I can do to start a healthy lifestyle? But you know what? You're at the right place at the right time, because you're going to get some tools this evening. Because many times, as Michelle was saying in the background before we started the show, many times things are being said, but there is not tools that's being given to help an individual how to take the first step to move forward. But when you really come into this space of enrichment of mind, body, and soul, we address the topic and we give you some tools that you can move with. You take what you want and you leave what you don't want. We always give you some tools that could help you along the way. Because you know what? When you come here, we want you to feel comfortable. We want you to feel comfortable in this space. And when you walk away from this space, you can say, you know what? I went into enrichment of mind, body, or soul light and body, or the reflective speaker series. And when I walk away from there, I've got 2 tools that I can start working to start to live a healthy lifestyle. It's a choice. It's all about a choice. And Michelle and Travis, for the people who join us late, Michelle and Travis wrote 2 beautiful articles for our Start Healthy magazine. And Michelle, we would like to ask you to really dive a little bit deep into that topic that you wrote for our Start Healthy magazine.
So I chose resilience. And
Beautiful.
yes, and thank you so much for that opportunity. It was because I want to use my pain and my hardship, and I want to use my story to pave a way for others that feel like me, that are trapped with no answers but a million questions. And for me, it's been a lot of like self-work. It's been a lot of courage and discipline to show up every day knowing I don't have the answers or what's going to happen or how things are going to be. But what I found, there were 3, you asked the moments, and there's 3 very distinct moments for me that stand out as being influential in my journey. The first is the day I took the pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant. And that was probably a very just unfamiliar change, because at that moment in time, I was living in a reality of like everything I had been exposed to, like this is life, this is what it'll be, etc. So that was like kind of the crash course maybe. But then a true transition also would be the fire, and that was in February of 2023. And like, so when the fire had taken place, I had already been in a moment where I was emotionally, mentally, and spiritually damaged. So when the fire created physical damage because possessions, physical things were lost, that was a moment of, I think, probably the first time I ever felt completely broken. And I had 10 years of tools that I had built that helped me achieve so many amazing things. And in the aftermath and in the weeks and months after the fire, none of those tools were working. Nothing that I could once go to find, just security or safety. None of that was working. And then universal alignment, I found you and Lady J and Lady K. And then, I started expanding the toolbox. And then I think that the catalyst, the most significant alignment in my life that it has been and will continue to be the most beneficial and impactful, was learning that I had aphantasia, and then educating myself and understanding what that is and what it means. And that in itself was like, you ever see the movies where somebody has a flashback and it takes them like way, way, way far back, and then it's like a super speed, warp speed of just all these things. And like, that's literally what it felt like in that moment when I learned what aphantasia was, what it meant, and just there was so much clarity and understanding in that moment. And then moving forward, it just It just allows, like, being aligned with yourself allows you to just fully embrace and live in your purpose. Like, and I do it in a very unapologetic, unorthodox way, but I had to spend 40 years learning how to love Michelle, to not care what other people think of what I do.
That is a mic
Wow.
drop
Wow,
moment.
Michelle. Wow. Wow. We just want to thank you for being you. Thank you for being who you are. And thank you for taking the time to write this article, which is going to be in so many readers' home, and which is very powerful, because I think when we all write something, it will resonate with someone or many, and which brings a true inspiration, such a profound moment as you share of about all the things that you've been through, and you're standing tall. You learn to love yourself, because as we always talk about on this show, we talk about self-love and self-discovery and honing in on that. And loving yourself is so important. So glad you brought that up, because when we can love ourselves, then we can love others. And then we can also know how to receive love.
Yeah.
We know what love looks like, because we have already done the work. We love it in ourselves. We love ourselves tremendously, so we can exchange, we can give love in an authentic way, and we can receive love,
Yeah.
and appreciate that. Just want to say that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Travis, we're going to ask
Well,
you to share. No, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna just say something like, there's one thing I would want to add. Michelle, bring that hairstyle back. The bottom page one, the bottom one. Wow, you look great in that. Honestly,
Yeah.
bring that
My
back.
mohawk is a symbol. I am growing in there. Like, so I used to weigh almost 500 pounds, and I've had 12 brain shunt surgeries and brain shunt revisions. So when you're going through brain surgery, you don't
Okay.
get to choose how your head gets shaved. The mohawk came after a year of no brain surgery. I got to shave my head however I wanted. So we did the mohawk. And then, fast forward now 10 years, and I'm in some legal litigation processes that will take me into several court hearings and professional appearances, in which I kind of felt, neon
Mohawk
colored
would really be
mohawk.
the
I
best
was trying
look.
to be more professional, but also the biggest motivation is, since maintaining a 280-pound weight loss for a decade, I've never seen myself in this form with long hair. It's always been a mohawk.
One thing real quick. You heard of Elton John?
Yeah, who hasn't?
Very professional, right?
I mean,
Yeah, he's got his own style.
oh yeah. No,
Style does not equate to professionalism. How you present yourself is what brings in the professional. I will show up to a world court wearing one of these shirts with my freaking Viking type. It's going to grow a little bit more with my Viking brand I got growing on the back here and whatnot, full flesh, and not give a damn.
Listen, like, I walk in my truth, but if you go read a couple articles I published on LinkedIn and Medium, I've also learned that the courtroom doesn't give two shits about your emotion. And I got to go in there with the most respect for the judge, and I'm saving everything for my victim impact statements. And I do believe I will be walking in on that day with a neon mohawk.
Awesome. I was just complimenting. Like, I thought.
No,
I thought you
yes, I love it. I thank you. I love my mohawk.
You're welcome. And Lady J, you're about. I was going to just say that, but you're about to say something. I didn't mean to, because you just said my name in a long pause. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll add in. Oh, you were about to say something. You were building the. Okay, I get it. The suspense has been built. Please bring on what you were going to say.
That wasn't that.
Yeah, and no, there's one thing I was gonna say, but how would you, before we go into your article, how would you talk about resilience? Is what Michelle wrote about.
I need to say something here, and this is part of a lot of. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, and I will just say that my entire life has been resilience.
Um,
I was born dead, and I came back. I was knocked out of my father's hand by a ceiling fan when I was when I was an infant, where he would play airplane with me because I was the only thing that calmed me down. In the middle of summer, I hit the floor, and I'm still here. I had the spinal tap that we were talking about before, and I went to work the next day and every day following, where I had to get up and move around. I was driving a vehicle. I served in the military, and I've taken a few different impacts. I have potentially torn tendons around my left knee because that whole trying to bend backwards and outwards thing, like I said before. But I'm still here. I'm beaten. I am broken. I am down on my knees, but I'm still saying, screw you to the weight, getting up and keep moving forward. I'm not giving up. I just found out this past week about VA programs called a VA business program, which I'm like, wait a minute. Are you telling me I could have been having help on my business this whole time for the past year and no one told me? I'm going to find out if that's what it was. I'm going to make that call. But again, that's the other thing with alignment. This entire past year for me has been about my evolution and what I do in such a more powerful impact. Without this year, without something happening almost a little over a year ago that brought me to this point, I would never have written that book I did. I would not have evolved something of sacred geometry of which no one's touched in 6,000 years. That's how big of a deal that is. I did it. Through time, patience, meditation, self-exploration, knowing what my strengths, what my skills. I'm a metaphysical researcher and practitioner. I do different kinds of researches. I make the connections. I'm discovering things about myself, and I'm adding to my own holistic wellness practice and coaching and consulting individuals to help them with problems, whatever they may be, as long as they're in my wheelhouse, obviously. Resilience is not just about that part of getting up and moving forward. It's about taking what you've gone through in life and knowing whether it applies to that situation, or are you going to add another piece to you to show how strong you are. And the hardest part, I will be honest with you, the hardest part for everyone is knowing when the resilience is going to pay off. Like, when is it going to feel like this weight is off of me? It will come up. When you have that self-realization, believe me, you thought you were strong and resilient then. Oh, when you know who you are and how you stand, when you know with every step you take, you're getting stronger and you finally discover who you are and what your strengths are, and you fall naturally into it, it's not just your resilience that goes up, it's your confidence, your strength, your power, and your command to be present in that moment, every step that you're taking and getting stronger. And that's when the resilience is paying off. And you don't feel that pressured weight of the resilience because you're walking through it so easy because you know who you are. That part of the struggle is finally over.
I like that. I want to add, it's every time I get a compliment or a kudos for another hit, it's like I didn't want another hit to survive. I didn't want another battle to fight. I didn't have okay, and then there we go. I was just about to say I didn't have a choice. But that's, last week watching your guys' show, we always have a choice. And if I don't make the choice to persevere and to move forward and create an impact, that my daughter's not going to suffer from things I've suffered through. If I don't make that choice, somebody else is going to make the choice. And the choices other people are making, look at where the hell I'm at. Look at what I'm battling. That's other people's choices.
I would suggest something for you on this real quick, if I may, Michelle. A little side bit, if I may, make a
Yeah,
suggestion.
go ahead.
As a whole, for what I do, I have a strong point to be as unbiased as possible, regardless of the fact that I have my own personal thoughts and ideas of certain things. But there's something about me that I do that where I have that kind of mentality of not being biased, because people try to say, like, a lot of people are just one side of the coin, right? But I'm not someone that looks at both sides of the coin. I'm someone who looks at all three sides of the coin. You got the face, the heads, you got the tail, but people forget about that ring,
The
that
ring.
edge all the way around. That's a side. I'm sorry, everything's not black and white, people. You got to start looking at the gray areas. You got to know that portion. And I just figured with that, what you were saying, Michelle, that like looking at not just both sides, but all three sides.
Mm-hmm. That's what I tell my daughter that about the truth all the time. There's that side, and the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm. But in that sense, when I'm looking at a situation, I can't just look at it from one side. I don't take it.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't take it at face value anymore. I look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm looking at all three sides.
Mhm,
You know.
mhm,
But thank you
mhm.
very much for adding that. That was actually really good, and that's pretty much what I was saying. Like in terms of resilience, I mean, I only told you a few things, and we do not have enough time to go over how many things I've gone through in life. I really can't. I'm not saying that I've had it harder than anyone, but I'm not going to say I've had it easier than anybody either. You know, but when you know how much you've taken and how strong you really are, the next few steps, it's more so of it's not whether or not you can survive it. It's where patience starts to grow on how much longer do you have to deal with it.
Mhm,
Because the
mhm.
impacts and the weight, the resilience comes in two forms: the strength of what you can take and the endurance of it, of how long you can take it.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
Anyways, that's my
Mhm.
statement on that.
Thank you,
You know,
thank you, Travis, for that.
go ahead, Lady J.
No, I was just gonna ask both of Michelle and Travis, because since we're talking about resilience, what kept you going? Both, then this question is to both of you. What role does your faith play in this, in the moment?
I'll jump in and so
Sorry, Lady K.
That's
I was
fine.
when I was
Oh,
18,
I'll be right back.
I weighed probably almost 400 pounds, and I was told that I would never have a child. And so through that next decade was me living life with the mental of these are what doctors said, so this is true. Everything that societal views creates that I was, raised to believe these are, natural events and basically it all shattered. And then what makes tonight's event so special for me is that it's health. Like, how do you start living healthy? How do you even know that you're not living unhealthy? Because
True.
that's what happened with me. I was raised in an environment where, no disrespect, they did the best they could for what they knew and what they had. But I didn't know that was an abusive home. I didn't know that was a dysfunctional family. I didn't know that was emotional mental abuse. I thought this was normal because in low income, poverty stricken ghetto neighborhoods, everybody is living in survival mode.
Yes.
Everybody doesn't know where the next meal may come from, or if the rent can be paid next month, or
True.
if they're going to have a job the next day. So when you have an entire communities that exist in this manner, And nobody in a national framework comes into a local level to say, this isn't right. Let us educate you. Let us give you resources. One thing I strongly walk with is you don't know better until you know better.
Mm-hmm.
But do not be a person that I personally gave you stuff or showed you things to help you become better. So I know you have the potential to be better and you're not better, because that's when I give no ducks. Okay. Like if I know you know better and you still don't do better, I can't allow my personal energy to be continued to be invested in you.
Well said.
Well said, Travis.
Well said.
To answer your question on what keeps me going, that was the original question, right?
Right.
Oh, with the resilience? Quite literally, if I'm going to be completely honest here, it's a few things. One, I want to see what happens tomorrow. I want to see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, maybe it didn't go so well. I want to see what happens tomorrow. I remember yesterday, but I want to see what happens tomorrow. That's one. Two, I've come to learn certain paths in my life where there's ups and downs and whatnot, but it doesn't mean that down is going to be a bottomless pit. There's got to be another hill where I get to climb back up. Consistent self-discovery of what I'm good at, what I'm capable of, my own unique gifts, and the experiences that are occurring in the metaphysical world. I mean, how have any of you heard about the chambers they discovered under the pyramids of Pisa in Egypt that are 6,000 feet deep into the ground?
I was really reading about that not long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, come on. If I gave up, like however many days ago, a couple of weeks ago, if I gave up, I would have missed that.
That part.
I would have missed that. I want to see what happens tomorrow. My sheer will, because I had to a lot. But honestly, it's seeing what else could be possible, what is coming into being, what is being recognized every day that's new, that people might have mocked back then. I mean, think of it this way. We all know, those who were well-read would know who Mark Twain is, right? Okay. He wrote about space travel, didn't he? And back in that time, people thought he was crazy. It wouldn't be possible. It's insane. Never going to happen. And yet, we put him in on the moon.
Yeah.
I say again, I want to see what happens tomorrow. That's what keeps me going.
I want to add, because I really kind of just realized I didn't even say what keeps me going. But it was in the explanation that I was giving. Like, most people would probably think it's my kid. She definitely is why I fight the way I fight.
Mm-hmm.
But what keeps me going is honestly a faith in something. So most people have faith because they're raised in churches, or, you know, they read Bibles and things like this. You know, I never read the Bible. I never went into churches, and then I never did those things. I've tried to commit suicide multiple times to no success. Obviously, here I sit. And it was a flip in the mental that obviously I'm alive for a reason, because when you're trying to end your own life and you're not able to, and obviously, like, that was for me, like, okay, it was the acceptance that my faith in a God, a creator, a higher being, whatever you want to call it, is because I've survived experiences and situations that should have killed me. Not because I read a Bible, not because I sat in a church pew on Sunday pretending to do what people should be doing 7 days a week. My faith exists because there's no other way to explain why my mind works the way it does, or why medically I should not have a child and I do. Why, like, I keep going because I know that these thoughts that come in my head and the way I reverse engineer complex systems, and I truly had to accept and embrace, I believe I meant to change the world. And that's what keeps me going, is because I know whatever it is that's so special about me, obviously it's me.
I gotta agree with you on that one, if I may chime in on that, because for a long time, the part that wants me to see what happens tomorrow did come from the fact that for the longest time, out of the things that should have killed me throughout my life, because as I said, I was born dead. I was supposed to die as an infant when I was knocked out of my dad's hand from the ceiling fan. There's a few other things that should have ended me, and I'm still here and breathing. Broken, hurting, kind of wants to say screw you to the force that was trying to, put me through that. Like I could have done without the dislocated shoulder. Thanks. Just to be funny about it. I'm like, yeah, really, I could have done without the scars. But I know I'm supposed to be here for something. What? I don't know, because I want to see what happens tomorrow.
I think there's like a group of us visionaries that we just know each other when we find each other, because you know a broken soul when you find it.
Oh, yeah. But a broken soul could still be just as powerful as a hurricane blazing through an island. It doesn't mean that you're weak when you're broken. You're hurting, yes. But if you're still standing and marching through that deep sea like it ain't nothing, you can fight the storm that's still coming at you. Oh, that ain't weak. You're broken and you're still getting up and moving forward. That ain't weak. I want to kind of get you a wheelchair so you can sit down and a glass of tea and maybe a little morphine to ease up the pain. But hats off to you. That's amazing. And people forget about their own strength and resilience when they I get so many people. Okay, last week, this past week, a few days ago, I just decided to get to take a walk into town. Down my knee and whatnot, I wanted to go outside and embrace the world. I wanted to embrace the energy and whatnot. I walked into town. Didn't drive my car, just walked. I met up in a few shops, and I came across an older gentleman in an art gallery that was on one of the streets. Never been in there, saw the artwork, conversed with him. His words were, when I asked him what he does or any other information, he says, "Oh, I'm just the doorman." Like, okay. Hold on. Getting there. Don't get ahead of me, Michelle. I know you see where I'm going. Don't get ahead of me. I asked him a little bit about the art, and he actually mentioned that he himself has some artwork in there, and that's when I was like, oh, but I thought you said you were just the doorman. Okay. Apparently, you're a whole lot more than that. Yeah, feel that kind of stuff on.
When you say just, you like limit yourself.
True.
In that moment.
Right.
Just that word.
Right.
It's a limitation. I'm just gonna change the world. Okay, get out of my way.
What actually hurt me and wounded me is the fact that him being a much older person, I'm talking about full silverback, older gentleman type deal, full like white hair type deal. Him being at that age and he believed that of himself. I'm thinking, right. How many years in your life did you say that about yourself? And true. Through that identity. Who told you you're just this?
Right.
You're this much older, and you. I kind of wanted to die. It wouldn't have been my place, but at the same time, I just wanted to ask him, how long have you thought this about yourself?
True.
Because you're right.
A hug.
Yeah.
Immensely. I'm sorry. Did you want me to get to my article? I apologize if I've gone along a tangent.
No. It's a good conversation we're rolling in.
Oh, I love it then.
It's a great conversation. And I just like the piece that you spoke about, this gentleman that you met, and he just described himself as just a doorman. I mean, the value, the worth, and not feeling worthy. I think that's things we always talk about feeling worthy, knowing who you are,
It's
limited
yes.
beliefs.
Sometimes it's very hard because people's conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
I might like I'll give an example. Like with me being an emotional manifesting generator, I'm a role model martyr. We that human design thing. I'm a lot better at being introduced than just picking up the mic and going kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
My energy, I start seeing the flow, just kind of the river. I'm being introduced. It's like the dam has been opened, and there I go. No issues. Alternate scenario, swap. I'm gonna start stumbling. I'm gonna stammer a little bit, be a little nervous. Like, how do I start this? But am I weak in that? No. And in terms of resilience, to compliment on Michelle's article, still further in that, may be broken, but you are far from weak, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You are
Mm-hmm.
far from weak. I'm hearing
Sure.
you. I'm hearing the things that you're talking about, whatnot. You're still here, damn it. Look at you.
Yeah.
You are
Beau-
standing, you're
Beautiful.
strong, you're powerful. You have a voice,
Absolutely.
Yes.
and you are
Yes.
speaking.
Absolutely.
Say it, Travis.
It might
Absolutely.
shake sometimes, but I'm never shutting up again.
You have a
That's what
voice.
I'm saying. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Broken, but far from weak. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a broken man too. But I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that because you're not a man. But anyways, I'm a broken person too, but I'm still standing here. Well, sort of. But I'm here. Everyone has gone through something in their lives that has created some kind of rift, some kind of damage physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, even. And that being said, on spiritual aspect, I will say this. I don't care what you believe, just two things. Know your religion, know the truth of it, and embody it. That's, some people are broken and fractured in that, but it doesn't mean that they're weak, doesn't mean that they've lost their faith or hope, doesn't mean any of that. They may be taking a breath. They may be taking a knee at the moment, taking a step back, seeing what happens before they get back up and try it again. Still broken, but still tough enough to stand up and keep going forward. Thank you for that article, Michelle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm thankful.
Wow.
Opportunity.
This is such a
You
great
know,
conversation.
yeah.
Go ahead, Lady K.
I'm just listening. I'm just listening to Michelle and Travis, and there's so many things that's just was going through my mind. A few days ago, I was looking at a movie with David and Goliath, and when I looked at that movie, I guess everybody know that story from the Bible.
Yeah.
And when I looked at that movie, it brought me to a place that we all have a Goliath in our lives. We all have a Goliath in our lives. We all have a giant situation we might be dealing with at this point in time. Once you got the right tools, it doesn't matter how big is that situation, you can conquer it. Because I remember when David said, I'm scared, I'm afraid, but he trusts the higher power. He had faith in what he believed in. So once you see we have that faith, we can start to move things away from our lives. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. It's the mindset. The mindset is a big part of that equation. Because once we can address our thoughts and align our mindset, we will start to see things start shifting, and we will start to see things start moving. It doesn't matter which environment you came from. Your environment does not define you. It does not define who you are. You know, we come into this world with a mission, and we come into this world with a purpose. We come into this world with a reason. And whatever environment you are in right now, that is the environment that is going to shape you. That is the environment that is going to shift you. That is the environment that is going to evolve you as an individual. It doesn't matter which environment you're in right now. But whatever environment you are at and the place you're at right now, change your mindset. Because once you can change your mindset, you'll start to see things differently. Because many times we are there, but we are allowing that place to consume us. And we cannot see further than the place that we are in right now. But once you can change the lens and change the script, the way how you're seeing yourself, there is where the magic happens. And you gotta surround yourself with the right kind of people. Because if you're in an environment and it's all negativity, that is what you're gonna be consumed with. You gotta change the people you are surrounding yourselves with. You gotta change the groups that you're involved with. You've got to change the narrative you keep telling yourself, your self-talk every single day. When you want to come out from something, you don't just come out just like that. It's like a puzzle. There's so many things has to fall into place before you really emerge out from that situation. It's like a puzzle. You got to fit it up. And to fit up that puzzle, it calls for action. It requires you to take inspired action to remove from that situation. So when you listen to Michelle's story and Travis' story, resilience, we all have resilience. We are born with it. We are born with resilience. But many times we cannot see it because our judgment is being clouded. That is why we cannot see it. There's a lot of outside noise also cloud our judgment. The things that we're listening to clouds our judgment. So when you really want to come out from a situation, you've got to start to restructure within. It starts from within, because once you start to restructure within, you'll start to see the outer start to structure, because you're going to match that energy. It's all about matching the energy, the outer and the inner, it has to match up together, and we all can move from one situation and take ourselves into a different situation. And we got to learn to surrender. We got to learn to surrender, because a lot of times we're telling ourselves, that we can do it. But sometimes you got to surrender to the higher power. You got to have the tools, the necessary tools to make that shift. If you can't do it on your own, find yourself a therapist. Find yourself a coach. You understand? And find yourself the groups, because a lot of people say, well, I don't have the money. There are a lot of free articles online that you could educate yourself with to shift your needle. And for you to start seeing life through a different lens. It all starts with you. You have got to make that choice this minute. Make that choice that I am going to start to walk intentionally and start to change the things in my life so I can see the results that I am looking for with my life. Lady J, take the mic.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that is why it's so important that's why we created these bands, right? That it's so important to believe in yourself, because when you can believe in yourself and you own that, right? And you can tap into that and knowing who you are, that
Mhm.
builds a level of strength. That builds
Yeah.
a level of assurance, because
Yes.
you wake up in the morning, and that's why mirror work is so important, because you look yourself in the mirror. Yes, there might be moments, because there might be tumultuous things that are happening for you, but you constantly remind yourself that
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
worthy. I believe in
Yes.
myself. I
Yes.
know I have
Yes.
what it takes. And you're tapping into something. Whatever
Yes.
that thing is, you're tapping into your inner being, your inner
Mhm.
self. And once you continue to reaffirm in that, knowing who you are, believing in yourself, you know that you have that within you. Because sometimes you got to reach deeper. For me, I've been through my own situation, as we're talking about resiliency, and Karen had her own experience as well. And there are moments that you just have to go a little deeper.
Yeah.
You just have to go a little deeper. You're relying on something outside of yourself, whatever your source is, whether it's God, whatever that may be. But sometimes, yes, we're talking about surrounding ourselves with people, but sometimes there you don't have the people around you. And so you just have to rely on yourself.
Mm,
You're relying on yourself and that higher power, that
yes.
you reach in towards something. You may not understand what it is, but you know that there is a power beyond you as an
Yes.
individual. And you
Yes.
reach into that it can anchor you. It can hold you
Yes.
in the moments that you feel like you see, I can't do it anymore. I feel like giving up. But if you can just stay quiet and stay peaceful and own that space and just believe in yourself, know who you are, and that there is something beyond yourself that can lift you up from that space, that low space, that pit that you might feel yourself being in. You can rise and you can see something bigger.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can see that light when there is moments of darkness. And then the light just flitter and you said, I know, I know there is something. I'm not done yet, because there is
Absolutely.
more for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can go into that level and go into that space and feel that, you can rise.
Mm-hmm.
You can rise.
Mm-hmm.
So we all are saying to you who are watching us tonight live, and who you're going to catch us on the replay, just believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in you, because you have, just tap in, go inner, go deeper, dive a little deeper, because it's there, it's within you. Yes, you might be coming from an environment, but that does not define who you
No,
are.
your environment does not define
Just
you.
go deeper, just go deeper, dive a little deeper. And there is so much beauty inside of you,
If I
is
could add
waiting
to
to
that,
uncover.
what
Michelle says she
you
want to
guys giving
answer
people
that.
tools, right? When I'm in those moments, one of the things that I learned, like a tool to do personally, was everybody says, why me? Why me? Why? I had to shift my mindset. Now it's almost second nature. I say, why not me?
Right, right.
I just want to add that.
I think we can move to travel article now.
Travis, tell us about your article, because
This is
you
the
you 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 have some real great pointers in your article. You talk about core values and the roots of love. You also talk about love is a season of growth. You also talk about anger issues and constant jealousy. Can you touch on those articles for us, please?
yes, and harmony. There is some part in harmony there too.
Yeah. Well, considering the fact that I wrote it in terms of spring, and if you notice, I actually gave homage to Ostara of the Dawn, who
Right.
was actually the goddess of spring and the harvest. And that was actually part of the inspiration of what had me write the article. Actually, the article inspired me to bring her into the light of it because of what she did represent in terms of spring and correlations of romance and relationships. Spring being about new life, new beginnings, and new hope. For people that might be coming into that terms of relationships, like it's going to be something new. It's going to be hopeful. It's going to potentially grow, but they have to be aware of what could potentially happen, and grow from it and evolve with it. You got my article up?
Yeah, that is so beautiful that you took the time, Travis, to really outline and give a full overview of every single thing. And that is why we love this article so much too, as well as Dr. Jonas and Michelle's and all the individuals that wrote articles for this magazine, which is truly amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that in the article I was hitting on the red flags.
Right.
Yeah, like winter's lingering chill. When I had that one, you got people that can, you have over controlling partners. You have those lack of respects from certain partners, lack of the emotional support, and things like that. That's like just the lingering chill. That's like, what may have been a past relationship, and like some of the trials and the things that you took on in that relationship, and that might be lingering there before you enter a new one. And people need to understand that, or for those that are entering a new relationship and representation of spring, it's new, a new person.
Mm-hmm.
They are not the person you were just with, unless you have some pattern you've been repeating over and over and over again, going after the same kind of person, whether it be man or woman, whatever have you. Still a new and different person. Keep on like those red flags that you've had in the past, like past relationships or those things that happen to you. Yeah, they give you red flag. How do I say this? I'm sorry. Wait a minute. In the terms of those kinds of red flags, when they come in and when they're that they kind of like, it's kind of like the checklist that you have when you're going to a relationship, right? Everyone has one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. And you have like the pros and the cons, and you have those cons that are like the red flags. One of the problems with that is a lot of people just when they're going in, entering into the relationship, they're looking for those red flags more so than they're looking for the pros.
Mm.
And it's that lingering, again, like how I described, like the winter, the lingering chill still being there. You got to shed that frost. You got to shed that, like that ice, because you have to look at the fact that it's a new and different person.
Right.
True.
Right.
I said before a while ago, describing Schrodinger's cat. You don't know if the cat's alive or dead. Open the box and find out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is so true.
A lot of
No, those are so many great pointers that you outlined there, Travis, because sometimes, and I think we spoke about this with Will last week when we was talking about closure of relationships and moving on to new. And I think that's a real significant thing, because not moving forward with what you left behind and let it enter into your new relationship. So there has to be a level of clarity how one decides to move forward when you're embarking on a new relationship and just came out of one, right?
Right. And well, the excuse me. And the other thing is like with the other red flags that I mentioned in my article, it's hopefully going to get people to realize that, again, like one of the red flags is like over jealousy. Love is not a battlefield. It's not that kind of, you know. Oh wow, is my camera freezing a lot? Out of curiosity.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry, that's the one thing I was wondering. I thought my laptop was going through a few technical difficulties, but yeah, I mean, when I was talking about the anger issue, like the part of my article, one of the red flags of anger issues and constant jealousy, love should be a sanctuary, not a battlefield. It's understandable that people might get jealous in a relationship based on past experiences, things that they've encountered, certain trust issues and things like that. But shouldn't be that kind of like war room type deal. Like calm down, talk to your partner, have a conversation, allow for the truth to bloom between the two of you. Let trust start to bloom. Let that become a foundation, one of the foundations between the two between two people, and to have that kind of respect, have that kind of discussion. Understand that maybe what's going on isn't what you think is going on. People get jealous over like the smallest things. People would consider certain things to be flirting and whatnot. It's not a pleasant emotion. It's not a pretty emotion for people to have. But again, with lack of communication, there's no openness to have that kind of discussion to give the truth of what's actually going on. People jump the gun, they jump to conclusions, they don't give the benefit of the doubt, and they don't bother asking questions. In terms of this of spring, and new life, new beginnings, let's try to bring that segue back into relationships where you ask the questions, you drop the jealousy, you drop the winter cold of how things have been going in the past, things being, I know that's not in the article, but like things being so transactional now and so demanding and so overtly bearing. We got to bring back the heart of what it was. I may be the one holding the defibrillator here, ready to, jumpstart the heart of it, but I'm gonna need some help on this throughout the world. Hopefully, things are taking different turns in ordeals of relationships. I know that it's not exactly, that huge, but it is getting to be a much bigger problem. From my views, what I've seen. And hopefully with me writing what I did will bring light to other people in terms of relationships on how it could evolve and how it could bloom, how it could grow into a better path going forward.
Absolutely.
New life, new beginnings, and new hope. That is what spring is.
Love that.
That's beautiful, Travis.
Just a quick history thing for the three of you. Do any of you aside from the article know who Ostara of the Dawn is actually? Well, I know I mentioned her as the goddess of spring, but can you know from where actually?
Enlighten us.
Share it with us.
The Star of the Dawn was actually the original deity to bring forth spring. She was also the goddess of the harvest, right? Here in America, actually, believe it or not, her religion was replaced by that of Jesus Christ's resurrection, and her celebration of spring is actually where the painted eggs come from too. In case any of you were ever wondering how the heck did painted eggs correlate to Jesus Christ's resurrection, it actually came from Ostara of the Dawn. It really did. In case anyone didn't know that, a little star going across. The more you know moment for you. Her representations were actually rabbits too. That's where the rabbits in Easter come from. There's a lot of other types of celebrations and deities and whatnot that Christianity did replace. And I'm not trying to say anything negative about people of Christianity, to each their own. That's all I'm saying. But this is one of them. What the Ostara of the Dawn of the celebration of the Easter and the harvest was actually about, prior to Jesus Christ's resurrection, as a matter of fact.
Wow. Michelle, anything to add to that?
Well, I can't wait to read this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Beautiful.
definitely, you have hook, line, and sinker. Like, I can't wait to read your article. Just personal reflections would be like, it makes me very happy to know I'm in a publication with this article, to know that like we can put the resilience side by side with the relationships and
Yeah,
like correlate
Yes.
them, because like the intersection of putting them together is so important. And when it comes to relationships, me personally, it was always in my mind the mentality of like colleagues, neighbors, friends, like other people. What I never took, again, this is one of those like how you're raised and until you know better situations, is I never in my life would think or look or refer to a family member as a relationship. And now, over a year in full no contact family estrangement, the reflections, the self-honesty is that blood related you, but that relationship doesn't have to exist just because the word family. And I feel that for myself, one of the most empowering things I have done to make my daughter a better person was walking away from biological family, showing her that it doesn't matter that this is a title that they hold, this is who they are biologically to us. No human should ever speak to you that way. No human should ever do these things to another human. And I believe that we have to strongly and defensively embrace these things, because our children replicate what they are told and what they see and what they experience.
Yes.
I can say all day long it's not okay they do it, but if she doesn't see me pack our things and remove us from it, what lesson did I teach?
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
I agree with that. That one of the things that my article mentions, also in one of the things that Ostara represents, is balance in relationships as well.
And we've
that's
talked about that. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
We
And
have talked. Yeah, and I love. That's why I said I can't wait to read this.
Oh, you in that case, you should be checking out my. You should probably check out my LinkedIn when I bring in the purple pill movement. I'm actually starting that as well. I'm taking a massive swing at the red pill and blue pill movements. I'm tired of their narrative. I'm tired of the narrative, the rhetorics. I'm trying to do something about it, honestly. And I bring about in terms of balance in relationships between two couples on how, that kind of thing is very important. I mean, I understand that, there's that old narrative of like, okay, give an example on the balance right here, and I apologize for bringing in Christianity here, but it's also part of the red pill thing. If any of you are familiar with Andrew Wilson, he's on the Whatever podcast quite a bit. He talks about, he uses the Bible as a weapon, tool, and shield a lot in his debates just to win, because he doesn't think anyone could argue against him. But the thing is that he talks about how, like in the Bible, how it says that men are head of the household, men have the final say. But he omits the scriptures where the men must honor, respect the word and the stance of their wives in that household, and how their wives and their women have a say and have power and should be respected. He omits that, and that makes me so sick. It makes me so sick. It really does. Like, don't use the Bible or religion as a tool, weapon, or shield. That's weak. You're using something you think people can't argue against. Don't do that. And you're trying to put in an almighty being of whoever you worship in place to enforce your argument. That's terrible. That's imbalanced. But in Christian Bible, it does talk about how there must be balance between men and women in relationships. And how a lot of these individuals, especially the red pill narrative, are trying to make it sound so one-sided, where the women are under the heel of the men's boot, and that's just not right. Balance is important, and not only in nature, not only in the world, not only in society, but in relationships, and balance within oneself as well.
True. Mm-hmm.
For if you are imbalanced, you must find a way to balance yourself. Now, whether or not that means by your own means or another person, because love can heal. Love can heal. And I know you ladies, I know the people at home know exactly what I'm talking about. Love heals. The part, one of the other reasons and how it heals is when I brought in, like spring in this, renewal. Relationships between two people, keep renewing as much as you can when it needs to be. New life, new beginning, new hope. It doesn't mean that just jump into a new relationship is like going to be like fully new. Keep it that way. Bring in the new out of both of you. Keep evolving, keep growing, keep blooming. Because I've said it before, Lady K and Lady J, you know exactly what I'm going to say. When people change, when in that kind of relationship ordeal, that such conversation where people are saying that you've changed, what are you doing when two people get into a relationship? What are we merging?
Two relationships.
Two worlds.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somebody says
People
that
are
to me.
gonna-
I'm just like, isn't that the point? I didn't want to be who I was yesterday. I want to change.
True.
Okay, Michelle, you're not who you were 10 minutes ago, because
Exactly. That's right.
I started mentioning the article. You're about to read something, get a little bit of knowledge on a Star of the Dawn. Most likely, you're going to go forth and study her too. You're going to look her up. I'm willing to bet.
Mm-hmm.
That new knowledge and what insights you get from it is going to help you grow in some way. Whether you like it or not, it's going to change you.
When I was like in some of my darkest times of life, you know, like everybody would be like, go to the Bible, go to the Bible. And now knowing I have aphantasia, this helps me understand. But I would read the Bible and just get mad. Everybody's like, that's God's word. That's this, that's that. And I'm just sitting here like, this is God's word. Why are y'all people living like this? I don't understand. And then it was, I took a mindset to, I'm going to read the Bible as though this is an anthology and this is not God's word. These are other people's perspectives of what God's words are.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when I did that I found safety in what the scriptures I was reading. It wasn't, these are God's words. It was, this is a human that's in a really shitty, horrible space, and this is how they're getting through it.
Mm-hmm.
And that significantly helped me. Like I said, like, I'm not religious, I am spiritual. I am,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It is what it is.
Well, one of the things is I'm not trying to exactly incorporate any other convergence or anything like that when I wrote the article that I did. I know that's not what you're going with either, but I'm just adding in the fact that you can draw inspiration, insights,
Right.
words of wisdom from just anywhere. I can pretty much say that, like, as dark as this would be, you could probably find you could find something acknowledgeable in the Satanic Bible, for instance, written differently, but might have some kind of insights. If you read it, recognize it, it doesn't necessarily make people evil, as long as if you educate yourself in something that people don't understand. Demonology, you can learn a lot of things about that. You can learn a lot of things about different mythology stories of good and evil. How many of us know the story of Perseus? The Golden Fleece? Jason the Argonauts? Mythology as they may be, what about the lessons that they taught?
Yes.
Movies, shows, poetry, stories, things of just about anything you think of that could be created, artwork is consistently being displayed of these things that we are talking about: love, romance, intimacy, spirituality, a self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
They exist.
Of
For if
course.
they didn't, it wouldn't have been imagined.
Right.
That's what
Well,
makes the world up.
so in the sense of that, with me presenting a Star of the Dawn, a new insight, and hopefully bringing us some kind of a new discovery and further education.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's more to this world than just one piece of narrative. There's more.
Absolutely.
There's
So
more
true.
than one teacher in this world. There's more than one heart. There's more than one soul.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than one perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
That
Mm-hmm.
said,
That
I
is
look at all three sides of the coin.
that is what makes the world interesting, because when we have various perspectives, various insights that we can look at, and then we determine, well, what resonates with us and what not.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And as with spring being a season has come into play, next we're going to have summer, then we're going to have fall and winter. Comes every year, doesn't stop,
That's right.
and every season is a new one. Winter, it may be death, but it is still new and necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Winter doesn't represent exactly the death of something in terms of a relationship or whatever. It could represent the dying of something negative within you, because as Lady J and had said before, getting rid of those negative things in your life, getting those like ugly, the negative energies, the things that don't suit your life, you grow, you move forward, you're blossoming. Winter may be killing off the things that no longer serve you in positive ways in your life. Summer could be at that point after the new life, new beginnings. You're running pleasant. You're running with it. It's growing. It's coming. Fall may be a point of season where you're hitting that downslope of whatever that good thing started. Like, okay, you may be hitting a downslope, but it doesn't mean you're in a bottomless pit. As I said before, you got that hill that's going upwards. Aiming that at you, Michelle, when you were talking about resilience. Downhill isn't exactly downhill.
Okay.
There's going to be an up.
It's really aligning with, like, to live healthy, you got to know you're not living healthy.
True.
True.
And
True.
to know you're living healthy, you need to be exposed to the healthy situations to understand what it is that you're not receiving or that you're being depleted of.
True. True.
And I think that it is so important, just in the full circle of just everything that we're saying, is that, those seasons of, of the environments, we go through seasons in our life.
Yes.
And we need to know we're not planted trees in the ground. We be the house plant and go to a new home. Like, I, to this day, find family gatherings very uncomfortable when I go, because I'll be invited and I'll go to someone's home and their families. Like, for me, it's anxiety and just, I shut down internally, because apparently that is what a family is supposed to be like. That is nothing I have ever had exposure to. But what I know is that what I did experience, I didn't like it. And I know that I do everything different to ensure my daughter doesn't have to have
Right.
that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So just because I didn't have examples of it, I did become aware I needed to seek them out.
Absolutely. Listening to both of you, and when Travis bring up the topic about seasons, when you look at seasons, It can tell you so much about your life. When you look at nature and the seasons, it could tell you so much about life, you know, and we tend not to pay attention to nature. We go through different seasons in life, and look at the trees. They are not afraid to shed those leaves. They become absolutely naked. They shed those leaves, but look at it as well. Some trees shed the leaves and some bloom. Some bloom in that period of time. So nature is telling us so much about our lives. We got to know when to shed what is not serving us. We got to know what to use to nourish ourselves. And when the tree shed the leaves, there is still life in the tree. There is still life. So when you are shedding the things that is not serving you, there's a lot of resilience that is in you. So look within yourself and harness that resilience that is going to propel you forward in life. But many times, as I said before, we are so clouded that we cannot even see the beauty that lies within our lives. We are running to so many things and we're not getting the answer that we're looking for, because the answer lies within you. You are the answer to the problem. And until you recognize that, that is the only time you can solve the problem. You've got to recognize that you have the answer to the problem. And we, as human beings, we really don't want to stop. We really don't want to pause, because many of us are afraid of silence. We are so afraid to be silent. But when you are silent, there is where you get a lot of information, because you're going within yourself during those silent periods of your life. There's a lot of information that is being gathered in that silence. So we got to start looking at life on a totally different level. Things are changing, things are evolving every single day. What are you doing to evolve? What tools are you using to help you to evolve? Are you just sitting there and about to give up? No. There is no room for giving up right now. You've got that strength within you that you could fight this battle. Get the right type of help that you need. Reach out and get the help. Many times we are finding comfort in the wrong things, and we're not getting the help that we need because it's the wrong things we are looking to get the help. Get the right kind of help that you need. Whatever you're going through now, there is a reason that you're going through it, because it's a part of your evolution. It's part of your evolution. We all have different paths that we have to walk on. But our stories are very enriching. And someone is waiting to hear your story. Just like how Michelle and Travis are sitting here this evening to share their story with us. And these are stories of resilience, because both of them had to harness that resilience from within. That is why they can sit this evening and they can tell you their story. We all have stories. That's the reason why we are here. The stories is what give us the strength that we need. There is a reason why you're going through what you're going through right now. But whatever you're going through, look within that system. Look within that puzzle, and you're going to find a solution. You will find that solution. There is a solution. If there is a math problem, there is a solution to the math problem. Just look at it that way. There's a solution to the math problem. It's just figuring out how to do it. That is why we are here to give you the tools. We are here to give you the tools to empower you as an individual. It's all about empowerment. Because if you don't have the right tools, you cannot empower yourself. You cannot empower yourself if you don't have the right tools. When a carpenter goes to build a house, he got to get the right tools before he build a house. Because if you build it on a shaky ground, the whole thing is going to crumble away. So you got to get the right foundation. That is why you got to clear away all the clutter. You got to clear away the clutter. And then you got to start to build. That is where you start healthy. Because you're starting to build something up now. You're building a new structure now. Because you gather all the tools that you need to build a new structure. And the structure is not going to be the structure you had before. The structure is going to be totally different. Because this is a structure of evolution. And this is a structure that you're going to understand the things that you're going to put into this structure and the things that you're going to leave outside. Because when you're building back up, there are certain things cannot be moving along with you. Certain things have to leave behind. It cannot come with you. And it's quite okay. Release with love. Release with love. Because many times when we release things in our lives, we release it with hate. And if you're releasing it with hate, it's not going to work. You got to release with love. Because you don't want to be taking around that hate energy with you. It's not a good energy to have with you. It's not a good energy. You got to release it so that you could understand yourself deeper and so that you could attract the right things in your life. So if you're this individual listening to this podcast this evening, sit with yourself and just know there is resilience within you. There is a purpose why you are here. Don't give up. Do not give up. If you cannot do it on your own, reach out and get the help that you need. Reach out and get the help that you need. Do an introspection with your life. Get a journal. Go to Dollar Tree, pick up a simple book and just sit down with yourself in silence and start to write. Because when you start to write, there is power in writing. You start to get to see a lot of things in your life that is not going right. Just write. Just write the way how you're feeling. Just write it out. Write it out. Because it's a healing happening there as well when you start to write. It's also healing for you. The things that you have built up within you, when you start to write, it's healing. When you wake up in the morning, don't just start your day like that. Have a modality that is going to help to structure you. Wake up in the morning with whatever you believe in, prayers, meditation, yoga, whatever it is. Find that modality that is going to keep you grounded and balanced. Because once you can do that, you will start to see changes and shifting start to happen in your life. It's only you can do it. You got a choice, and the choice is yours. It starts with you. Right, Lady J?
Wow. Yes. And that is why believing in yourself is so super important. I'm glad you spoke about foundation because your foundation has got to be strong.
Yes, it got to
Your
be strong.
foundation's got to be solid so that when the structure is built, it's solid. You know, it can stand whatever winds or storm come its way. It's
Mm-hmm.
built firm. It's built solid, and
Mm-hmm.
the right kind of tools that is used and the kind of materials that
True.
reinforces
True. The
that
materials,
re,
true.
that that reinforces it because then it's strongly built.
True.
It's solid, and I think there is where we could say start healthy because you're making healthy choices.
Right.
Yes, you might have been broken down, but you're building back up. You started thinking clearly, you're using greater insights, new perspectives, your lens are clearer. And so you're making greater choices and you're building yourself back up. You're believing in yourself. You're going inwards. You're leaning into your inner wisdom. You have the right kind of people that you're surrounded by. You're honing in on a power that extend beside outside of yourself, whether it's God or what, as we discussed, whatever that may be. But you know that there is something else higher outside of you. And that's why visualization is so important.
Mhm.
That is why rewriting your narrative is so important.
Yes.
Right? That is why it's you imagine greater things for yourself. That is why staying in your comfort zone, you don't have to stay there because you can aspire for new
Yes.
things. Gonna tie in Ivan Travis' article where he talk about spring. There is new beginning, there is beauty, romance and all these great things, resiliency, and all those things tie everything in together because then you start making healthy choices. You started knowing who you are. You're reflecting in yourself and you're looking to see where you are at this junction
Yes.
in life. Where am I? And what am I going to choose in this moment to say my I ams to be? What am I
True.
reforming every day? I'm
Mm-hmm.
capable, I'm well, I'm able, I can make better choices because what follows your I am is super important.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to start to move in a level of abundance.
Mm-hmm.
Stop thinking scarcity and move in a level of abundance. Start to think abundant things is happening for me and to me, and I look forward in for abundance and start creating that mindset. I know you spoke about mindset. Mindset is key.
Mm-hmm.
Mindset is key because the mindset we created, we can remove that fixed mindset and embrace growth mindset. Then we can let new things in. We start to adapt new skills and greater conversation and listening to greater things that it can motivate us and help us and empower us and inspire us that we can be that beautiful person living our true essential self,
Mm-hmm.
walking in our power, stepping in a space that we can have great energy, exchanging whether it's one person or a group, because how we make people feel after that moment really, really matters, because people remember that. And all those things come together, then we start healthy, because we're thinking differently, we're making new choices, we're giving gratitude, we're leaning into our inner wisdom, and we're celebrating our wins. We're showing ourselves grace and compassion and love. Because love, as we discuss in this discussion, love is super important. Because as we love ourselves and fully love ourselves and truly love ourselves and knowing that we are enough,
Mm-hmm.
then we can love others. We can love others. And then we can know what love looks like. So when love is being extended to us,
True.
we can know that it's authentic, it's coming from a
Mm-hmm.
good place,
Mm-hmm.
and we can embody that, we can receive it with fullness.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just so much so important things that we can think about that came out of this beautiful discussion tonight. And I just want to shout out to Annie for sharing his package that he received from us. And his article was so beautiful as well, because he has written an article in our Start Healthy magazine as well. Dr. Jonas, who spoke about facing your future with a new focus, Dr. Marcy Soul, and there are so many people, Tyson, who wrote some beautiful, beautiful articles. And so it's so beautiful when like-minded people can come into a space and share and
Sure.
give. And then that is how we create an impact in the world.
Mhm.
That's how we create changes.
Yes,
When we
absolutely.
can take the inspired action
Right.
and say,
Absolutely.
yes, I would, and Tommy Thompson also, and Christine Cavallero, who also wrote articles. There's so many people. We just want to shout out. I know I might be missing some names, but just shout out
Dr.
to
Marcy.
you, Dr. I said Dr. Marcy, and everyone who wrote, who took the inspired action and say, I want to talk about leadership. I want to talk about resilience. I want to talk about mindset. I want to talk about facing your future in a new focus. I want to talk about recovery, because Tommy Thompson, who spoke about, who's a recovery coach, and everyone else, and Tyson, who talk about boundaries, and Saul, who talk about healthy lifestyle, and everyone who played a part, a major role in sharing and loving and caring to extend to our readers. We want to say thank you. Thank you for taking that inspired action, and we love you.
And another thing too is thank you for being vulnerable, you know, because a lot of times people are not vulnerable to share their story, but not knowing when you share your story, it could bring healing for
Right.
someone else. So if you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, I'm ashamed of probably what I went through, and I really don't want to talk about it, your story could heal someone else. Your past does not define you. Your past does not define you. Your story can help someone with their healing process. Michelle and Travis, what can you leave with the audience tonight? Give us something really good.
I got
Add it to
something.
what you gave before.
Really, really good.
Okay. You mentioned something with trees and leaves falling. I'm about to say this little bit mind blowing ordeal and a little bit more homage to A Star of the Dawn in spring. Look at a tree, people. Like, really look at it. I want you to stand under a tree when the leaves are in full on, stand under it and look straight up. Notice that how every leaf grows specifically to catch the most
Yes.
amount of sunlight
Yes.
all
Yes.
over. It
Yes.
looks random,
Yes.
but one of the most perfect growths in nature. Just because something looks messy and chaotic does not mean it's so much more. Look at things at new perspectives.
New perspectives.
New life, new beginnings, new perspectives.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
speaking of which, earlier I had mentioned something of drawing inspiration of like maybe the Satanic Bible, whatnot. Here's something else of new perspectives. Is any for those of you at home, and are any of you here familiar with the show called Lucifer?
I think I started to watch that show, but I
Netflix.
did not continue it. Yes.
Well, we all know what Lucifer
I
Mhm.
is.
I watched the show in full. Actually, I watched it reluctantly at first. Honestly, it was just
Mhm.
something for me to just go ahead and watch. Like, I'm bored. Why not? Blah blah blah. You know, there was one episode, a scene in one episode in the first season that caught my attention and is about to catch yours. In the show, in that episode, he was called evil, and he stopped and he said, "I'm not evil. I punish evil." And that's when it was like, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pump the brakes. Backpedal. Say that again.
Mhm.
Right there, I started to get a new perspective I hit the books. I hit the research. He's right. Couldn't find one thing. He punishes evil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Again, different things can give you a different perspective, a different insight, new knowledge. One sentence had me read quite a few different books. Now, I don't follow the satanic religion, don't get me wrong. It was me looking at both sides of the coin.
Yes. Yes.
Looking at the other side of the story. Looking at, like, wait a minute, hold on. Digging deeper. Looking beyond the veil. Asking the questions. And as far as something as resilience goes, Miss Michelle Ramos, and a big time honor, because I really do honestly support that. I really do.
Yes.
For everyone who's at home, for anyone who sees this, are you broken, or are you stopped? You know, are you stuck somewhere? Or are you still standing? Are you still up? Are you still moving forward? Blockages come to you at every way it wants to throughout life. The universe has an interesting craps table. And that set of dice, I kind of want to get a hold of my own, roll my own, you know. Everyone would. Everything's a roll of the dice. But no matter what, you're still here.
Right.
You're still standing.
Yes.
Discover who you are. And next time something comes at you, I want you people to look at it as if you were Joe from Family Guy embedded in the cement of his pavement, that giant mute rat coming at him, and he goes, "Bring it on!" Do it. Look at every challenge the same way, because, again, you're still standing. Whatever happened or whatever you're in the middle of didn't end you. You're still here. I know it probably wasn't the first dark, hard situation you've been in the middle of. You survived that. The next one, again, look at it and say, bring it on. Don't just walk through the storm. Be the storm. Don't let that stop you, because no matter what, I'm not going to talk too much about the situation I'm in, but I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still walking forward. I'm sure you three lovely ladies have gone through quite a bit. Michelle, I don't even need to recap on that, considering certain things, but you're still moving forward.
Okay.
Thompson, I don't know how much you're going through, but I know you're still standing. You're going through forward. Everyone here who is watching this is still standing. Metaphorically speaking, you know, you're probably sitting down on a bus somewhere watching this, whatever. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You're still standing. You're still going forward. You're more powerful. You're smarter. You're better than you think.
True.
And one thing I want people to do, I want to give a little free exercise, that I do as a holistic wellness coach for my clients. Every morning when you wake up, write down 3 good things that happened the day prior.
Right, that's a good one.
Keep doing that. And then, you know, I don't think anyone's going to reach out to me and actually give me this, so I'm going to go ahead and give this little golden nugget of the point of this right here, right now. You'll start to realize that those good things never would have happened without you if you weren't there.
That's beautiful.
You're part of a bigger picture than yourself than you realized. You already are. You're more important in this world than you realized. Tomorrow's probably looking a bit better now. Because, as I said, I want to see what happens tomorrow. Perception without context is assumption. ask the questions, and look beyond the veil. Michelle, all yours.
That was a good one. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you, Travis.
You're welcome.
I think what I would like to leave people with is my story is becoming more public, but this isn't new. This is my real life that I have been walking every step for several decades now. And what I hope people can take away is knowing, for me to be living healthy like I am today, I had to accept the fact that other people's idea of healthy, what people were telling me to do to be healthy, were all the things that were keeping me unhealthy and not making progress.
Wow.
So the only thing I can wish for anybody watching now or in replays is, what is healthy for you? You cannot have external validation for what is making you feel okay. It doesn't even matter if it's medical or holistic. You are in your body. You feel what you feel. And I very much dislike when people invalidate other people's feelings, because there's not one feeling we can invalidate another for saying they feel, regardless of what it is. Because who are we to tell somebody what they feel? So whatever might feel healthy for a doctor to say, you need a BMI of this, and these are the healthy foods.
Right.
And this. Some healthy foods taste like shit.
Yes.
But you still want to eat it because it's healthy. Or is it because you was told it was healthy? Or does it taste like shit because somebody told you it tastes bad?
Yes.
What is your opinion? How does it make you feel? How does it help you go forward? Like those, I want people, I am able to be so unapologetic and brutally honest because I know what it is to have somebody tell you what you're supposed to feel and what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it. Enough. Do it for yourself. Make your own decisions.
So true.
That's what I want to leave everybody with. And thanking you guys for such an amazing space to be vulnerable and have these conversations.
Can I say one thing, Michelle? Just one more bit.
You said that. This ain't my show.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You said like some unhealthy foods taste like crap. Yeah, that's why they invented ranch dressing. Okay. I'll eat healthy, but I'll be damned if I don't add a little flavor to something I'm about to eat. Am I wrong?
Oh, that's a good one, Travis.
I had to. I'm sorry. I saw the opportunity. Like, oh, I got to do this one. Thank you. Again, but I see Michelle laughing her butt off, but am I wrong? Exactly.
True. Lady J?
This was such a good conversation. It was empowering, motivating, inspiring, educational. And thank you all for watching, and who's going to catch us on the replay. Keep believing in yourself. You're special. You are amazing. Just know that you are enough and you are unique. Take time to love yourself. Take time to keep your cup filled so that you can be strong. Practice self-care. Practice self-care. Because this is going to help you to continue to live your true essential self. Make sure that you maintain that foundation so that you can be strong, so that you can be well, and you can start healthy. You can always start healthy. You can always start over. But you're starting over not from a low place, but you're starting over with making a healthy choice so that you can reinforce and can be stronger, be wiser, be more powerful, and continue to be amazing. Because yes, you are amazing. Yes, you heard us said that. Say that. Say it to you tonight. And thank you for making all the bold moves that you're making. The courage, the determination,
Mhm.
and what you're saying to yourself, your I am, which is so important. Remember, just to know to yourself, I am enough. I am worthy. I am strong. Just tap in and say that to yourself. Lady K, thank you both, Travis and Michelle, for being here tonight. You guys are truly amazing. We love you all.
Oh, oh, you ladies are such a love, and it's always such a joy to be here. It really is.
Thank
I
you.
have so much fun with you ladies. I really do, and I'm like, oh, I get to be a guy here. Like I get to be presenting and being a balanced man and show what I can do, and actually having the awesome company of other individuals such as Michelle Ramos and even Jamie when he was on last time. I love being here.
We love you all. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for the amazing articles too that you both wrote, which it really complemented each other.
Exactly. Exactly.
It really
It did.
did.
It
The
did.
read the readers are in for a treat.
Yeah, it did. It did, And the beautiful thing is when we can bring our energy, and the energy is
Mm,
very authentic,
right.
into a space, and we can share and just be ourselves.
Mm,
We're just being ourselves. We are speaking about things that is happening every single day.
right.
This is real talk. This is real talk that is happening every single day. Because as we speak, people are going through different situations, you know. But when you come into a space like this, you can walk away with some hope
And
and know
optimism.
that, you know what? I can do this. I can start to take some small, consistent, intentional steps towards living a start healthy life, because it all starts with you. You're the author, you are the architect of your life. If you're seeing that something needs to change, you have the authority to make that change and replace it with something that is going to benefit you.
Mhm.
Something that's going to benefit you and support your evolution. You have that choice to do that. And as Travis was talking, something came to mind. We got to continue to practice mindfulness.
Super important.
We got to also continue to practice gratitude. Every single day, we have to practice gratitude and mindfulness. We got to continue to do our journaling. Find that time, find that quiet time to do your journaling. Self-care, self-compassion, all these things we need in our lives every single minute of the day. These are necessary tools. These are everyday tools that we need
That
to work
is.
with every
Yes,
single
yes, yes.
day. These tools got to be strapped to us every single day as we move through life. Because we never know when a moment gonna arise in our lives that we got to use these tools. Because
Mhm.
many times people show up in front of us, we don't know what that person is going through. And we got to show compassion to that individual.
Grace.
We don't know. We just don't know. We all are walking this journey. We all are carrying around something. So we got to know when to show that grace, when to show that compassion to that individual. Never jump to judge because we don't know. We just don't know what a person is going through.
Right.
Each of us have our own journey that we are walking. But each of us story can help someone. This story can help an individual. So if you're that person, another thing that came to mind, delegate and ask for help. Ask for help. When you asking for help, it doesn't mean that you're weak.
You want to remain strong. I'm going to finish that.
You know, asking for help doesn't mean that you're weak. And I'm speaking to especially the men, because men feel as though if they gotta ask for help, they feel as though that they're weak. You're not weak.
No.
You are not weak. You gotta come out from that self-limiting belief. Ask for help. Ask for that help if you need that help, because they got a lot of men who is crying silently. They're crying. They are crying silently. Ask for help. Reach out and get the help that you need, so you can start to live a healthy life. You know, this is such a beautiful space that when you come into this space and you walk away from this space, there is always something you can walk away with, you know, and it's to help you to enhance and to enrich your life. And we are so grateful and we are so thankful that you're taking the time to pop in and to pop by and to just be a part of this meaningful conversation, this empowering conversation, you know. And every week, myself and Lady J, we discuss what we're going to talk the next week, you know, and we ask for inspiration. We are led by the higher power, what the topic should be. And many times we don't even say what a topic is. The person who we're going to bring on as a guest, they got the right topic to fit for the audience. Because when we are creating these podcasts, we are creating it with you in mind. Because we love you and we want to empower you as an individual. Because we want, when you walk away from this space, you can say, you know what? I was well fed.
Dr.
I'm
Tara.
full. And I can share. That is why we always, if you know someone who can benefit from this podcast, share this podcast to them. Encourage them to subscribe as well, so they can be a part of this community, because this is an empowering community. We are here to empower you because we want to see you succeed. We want to see you take life in your hands, because we know you got the choice and you can do it. We love you. We just truly love you. And we are here to be of service to you. So to the audience, we just want to thank you once again for being in this space with us. We love each and every one of you. And don't forget to check out 246 Vagans Vibes Classified Arts. There's some great offers that you can check it out. The link is in the description below. Just check them out. And don't forget to subscribe to Soul Light and Body. If you're new joining this podcast, we just want to welcome you into this space. Make sure you subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you would never miss none of these episodes. We are here to empower you, as I said. It's all about empowerment. When we're giving you the food, we are feeding you well fed. When you come to this space, you're well fed.
This is the best space to break bread.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love breaking bread with y'all.
Thank you, Michelle.
We love
Thank
breaking
you.
bread
Thank
with
you
you
as
too.
well. Yes.
With you
Yes.
too, and the audience connect with Michelle and Travis.
And
as well.
Travis, yes. Connect with
Please
Michelle
connect
and
with them
Travis.
today. Yeah.
You can actually find my website on my LinkedIn profile, actually.
This is the best way to start a new week.
Yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely, Michelle. The best way. The best
And with
place.
a good topic, start healthy.
Yes. Start. Exactly. Start healthy.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for coming and enriching this space and enrichment of mind, body, and soul. We love you guys. Just consider this, as John does normally, Lady J. Consider this as your home. You know, this is your home.
I already told you guys. You guys are my aunties I never got. So
I know we're here, right?
We're here. Be here.
Love you guys so much.
you.
Love you guys. And thank you once again for coming
Thank
into
you.
this space. Love you guys. Love you all.
Again.